Oh my god, this game is so good. Like my only problem is that I usually wait till the end of the day to play it, and that usually means I'm in my bed on my ROG Ally. So make I'm probably playing like 40-minute spurts because it's like, oh man, I'm tired, I'm ready to bed. But the game is so fun. Oh my god, like I'm actually getting into the spy elements of the game now. So it's not just so now you. Here's the cool thing about 007 First Light. You can choose right off the bat. Do you want to be stealthy or do you want to just go in there, balls to the walls, like just being chaotic and stuff like that? You can do that. And I'm doing a little bit of both, as far as my playthrough. Like for example, in the early part of the game, like you and the other recruits, get sent on a mission, and basically you're trailing a target that's in a nightclub. And trust me, just doing that whole thing was, just doing all the interactions, all that stuff in the club and everything, trying to get to this one character and stuff. That was so fun, and there's options, like you can just go straight in and just be a bully, or you can be sneaky and stealthy and like going back rooms and climb up places and all that stuff just to surveil your target. There's different ways to do it. But one of the coolest gadgets that I've seen in gaming for a while is in this game, and it's that watch that James Bond has. That watch is like his Swiss Army knife in this game. It is fun, and I don't know. Maybe this is something. Maybe this is an element that they carried over from the Hitman series. I haven't played a Hitman game since PS2 days, so I don't know. All I know is this is fun. I like that. I like this new take on 007, like the origins 007, because like anyone who's seen Casino Royale kind of knows how you got the double O. And I think I mentioned that the
Hmm.
last time we were on the podcast. But I like this new take on 007, and it's also funny that 007 that I mentioned 007 because my roommate and I are also watching the World War II documentary series that's narrated by Tom Hanks. And so sitting there, we're watching the episode, and they mentioned Ian Fleming and how he was a naval officer. And I was like, wait a second, Ian Fleming, like James Bond, Ian Fleming? So I like paused real fast and like jumped on Gemini, and I was like, was Ian Fleming like a British naval officer? And sure enough, he was a British intelligence officer, not naval, British intelligence officer. Sure enough, and I was like, wow, the father. So going back and watching some of the old school like James Bond stuff now, like I see the influence, from like the post World War II stuff. So that was crazy.
I read there's a let me back up. There's a new set of James Bond novels, and by new, I mean like the first one came out like 10 or 12 years ago at this point, called Cartel Blanche, and it's like pre Casino Royale. Then that book seems like it takes place between this and the game and Casino Royale, but it's like I have been really re-energized to watch 007 recently, the movies, just because this game seems to be really top notch. I'm like really excited to play this
If you could
game.
just off the top of your head real quickly, favorite James Bond movie.
Movie? I mean,
Yeah.
Casino Royale is definitely the best one, in my opinion. I love Casino
Oh,
Royale.
I need to ask you. I need to
Um,
ask you, what era James Bond movies have you seen?
I mean, I've seen most of them. I don't really care for Timothy Dalton all that much. I like
Me
Pierce
neither. Me
Brosnan. I
neither.
just think those movies didn't age well, especially because during that time Austin Powers was coming out, which was literally spoofing those types
Yeah.
of James Bond movies, and then Casino Royale came out and changed everything. So,
Casino Royale and the Daniel Craig run of 007, basically made it modernized them and made them more of action movies with a more serious plot to them and stuff like that. The Pierce Brosnan era of James Bond, like it was still the playful like spy movies and stuff like that, which was good, which is good. I appreciate the Pierce Brosnan era of James Bond, and I absolutely love the Daniel Craig era of James Bond. But yeah, like I definitely love like the Roger Moore and Sean Connery Bond movies as well. From the Roger Moore era, I'd probably say A View to a Kill is one of my favorites. Sean Connery, it has to be crap. Was it Never Say Never Again? I think that was the one.
that was the one he came back for. That
Yeah,
was like not a quote unquote real James Bond movie, but was a James Bond movie.